Thanks for coming. That was Logan introducing me. If you haven't already seen her on line, I've posted some stuff that I duct taped her to a door during someone else's talk in one of the other rooms, and then I opened the door and she was duct taped to the door. So she's awesome. I've just got her started early for her S&M career when she's 20. What? 50 Shades of John. There's more like 120 Shades of John. Why do I always play with long flexible things? Listen, you can shout all you want. You better get ready because it's me. Is everybody in? Said the actress to the bishop. Or said the choir boy to the priest. Anyway. Like it never happened. I can't see everybody. Can we just turn those lights down a little bit? Is that all right? Look at you with your finger on the button. Handsome too. So I don't know how it's working here. Are you guys allowed to ask questions and things, or? You are? Are you? Do they have a microphone, or do I just have to hear you shout it? I just come to you. Oh yeah, that'll never happen. Never gonna happen. Especially because you got boobies. I'm guessing. You never know nowadays, right? What? I'm whatever. Okay, okay, that's fine. I like that. It's great to be in Vegas. What's that? Is that a microphone, Kevin? Kevin, are you going to be my mic man?
I can be your mic man, John.
Oh, Kevin. This is Kevon, everybody. Kevon. Just make sure you call him Kevon. Las Vegas. Here we are, yes. It's not that far. Well, it's a 4-hour drive. 3-hour? What was it, Scott? We did it in 4 hours. We left Palm Springs and there was the fire in the San Bernardino Mountains, so it was becoming very cloudy and dark over Palm Springs, and we thought heading to Vegas would be much better, but we had to drive up through the mountain. We didn't go the freeway, which was good, because East EDC. Oh. We drove by one car, it was 2 girls in it. They were wearing multicolored stuff. There was a huge big penis inside the car. Scott and I were like, yeah! It was awesome. But we were driving and we missed the traffic through the Cajon Pass, which is not a testicle roadway. Cajones Pass, get it? I knew you would, sweetheart. So we're driving and we come into up the freeway a bit, and then there's massive traffic, and Scott says on the sat nav there's a road that goes off and parallels the freeway. So he said, well, let's just take that. So we did, and we paralleled the freeway for about 10-15 miles, and then it said road closed. Not for me, it wasn't. We drove off-road, went around the signs, and another guy in another SUV was following us, and we drove another 10 miles on the road that was closed, okay? Which was fine. Then there was another big sign that said road closed, bridge out. So I took a little veer to the left, which then said military base, do not enter. I've been in a lot of military, so to speak, Captain Jack. So we pulled off, but the guy behind us kept going straight, and he went down the other way to avoid we did off-roading on roads that said were closed, where no one was doing any work, so we could have used them, right? If you have an SUV, just drive down past the bridge. We beat all the traffic by about, what, 30 minutes? Yeah, look, I'm asking him I wasn't even paying attention. I was driving, I'm like that. This is awesome! But we did. It was awesome. It was great to go off-roading. I'll shut up now and you can ask questions. Just thought I'd let you a little insight in my life, not that you're bored or anything. Kevin, where are you? Oh, on your knees like normal. Not for me, for Kelsey. Yeah, there you go. Because Logan, he's always praying. Logan's his daughter, I have to be careful. She knows me well. You choose. Put your hands up if you have any questions. I just like to play off you guys and feed off you, so to speak. Especially you two over there. Thanks for the butt rub, by the way. Photo op, all of a sudden the hands were on my back, and then I felt them, I'd go down and said, just go ahead, touch it. And then it went, ooh. I'm like, oh my God, and then what were your names again? Josh and Eric. It was Josh, and Josh gave me the rub on the left, and then Eric and I would go on. He went, oh, okay, so whatever. I got a double whammy. It was good. Scott, get the numbers, we'll talk to them later. Okay. Kevon, where are you? Okay, question.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
My question is, what was your favorite episode of Doctor Who to film, and why?
I'm very weird about answering favorite questions, because if I say what's a favorite, you guys never let me change my mind ever again. Right? And he said that at the Las Vegas con, and I can't, that's not right. He's a hypocrite if he says he likes something else. I loved filming pretty much all of Doctor Who because it was a childhood dream of mine. I never ever thought that as a kid I'd ever one day be a companion, or let alone one of the most iconic Doctor Who characters in the history of Doctor Who. So that's why I love every second of it. But I think most of the ones that I love, gosh, I love doing the episodes like anything with the Daleks, with Davros. Because Davros was my kind of ultimate fear as a child. I wish I had been able to do a Cybermen episode, because I love the Cybermen. I actually tried to convince Russell to let me be inside one of the cyber suits, just because I wanted to do it. And he's like, but we'd have to pay. I'm like, you don't have to pay me nothing. You ask anyone to be a Cyberman, they're going to be a Cyberman for you. So I would say the End of Days. I think it was that no, which one was was Davros End of Days, and it was when I was with Sarah Jane Smith, Elizabeth Sladen, and we were standing together, and Davros came out, and she grabbed my hand and she went, oh, and I went, I know, and she goes, he still scares me to this day. This is while we're filming. We're having this conversation while David's doing his lines, and talking, and the camera's on him, we're in the background. It still can be seen. If you watch it, you can see us looking at each other, having a little chit-chat. But yeah, it was great. And also the fact that I was with the most iconic companion, Sarah Jane Smith, and that any companion who says they've never based any of their companion's personality on her, or has a little bit of Sarah Jane in them, they're telling you a big old lie. Because she was the ultimate, and I was thrilled to be, the first time I met her, she was, I was going to, we live in a building, and I still have the flat there because I bought it. That's how much of a geek I am. But all of us, we lived in this building, we called it Who Towers in Cardiff. And I would come in from shooting night shift, like if I was doing Torchwood, and David would be doing day shift, and we would pass in the elevators. And when I stepped into the elevator, he's like, he's the night John. I'm like, morning, David. And I go in and I stand in the elevator and I hear, hold the lift, hold the lift. And Elizabeth Sladen comes running in and she stands, literally. And this is one side of the lift, the door's there, she runs and she stands there and I'm like that. In my head, I'm going, Sarah Jane Smith. I'd never met her before, and I'm standing literally 2 feet away from her, and she's got her little hat on, and she's standing, then she does one of these. And I said, I mustered up, I know how you feel. I mustered up the energy because I thought something like, toilet paper windpipes is gonna come out of my mouth. But I got the energy up and I said, Miss Sladen, John Barrowman, I play Cap. She said, I know exactly who you are, Captain Jack. And she said, I like you. Sarah Jane likes you, but she would have to spank you if you continue to use that gun. Doors opened, she walked out, and I went, and wet myself with excitement. It was awesome. So yeah. So that was more than the question, but that's kind of I tend to do that, go off on a tangent. Yes?
Hi there, handsome.
Hello.
Sorry, now you know how I feel. I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's fine. Just don't pee yourself.
It's too late.
It's too late. Save it. Someone in Las Vegas will pay for it. Come on, you can't be that conservative here.
Don't be
Jesus.
so suburban.
Yeah. Because it all happens in suburbia, let me tell you. Yes.
I know you're a huge...
Logan, you will not remember any of this. This will all be retconned out of you.
I know you're a huge theater person. So, I mean, is it...
Is that another way to say I'm gay?
No, excuse me, I'm a huge theater person.
Oh, so you're a lesbian.
No, I'm a gay man trapped in this woman's body.
Awesome, even better.
So, what was it like? I mean, does sci-fi just kind of lend itself? Is it just kind of flow easy for you, back and forth? Having that background?
It's what theater... Say it again.
Oh. Coming
I all of a sudden thought I was in a Tampax commercial, but never mind.
Coming from a more theatrical background.
Yes.
I mean, does that make sci-fi a little more easy to just translate into? Because there's so much more freedom.
Well, but yes and no, but sci-fi is probably harder than a lot of other mediums because if you were to do something with a big green screen behind you that is meant to be a planet being overtaken by 30,000 Daleks that are flying from the mothership, and all you've seen is a drawing of it, but that's going on behind you, and you have to react to that, or you have to do what you're doing here with one person, and you're in a room that has nothing in it, and you're on a spaceship in the middle of space. That takes a lot of imagination and a lot of energy to do, because you could walk out and you could do one of these, which would be totally, that would be really wrong. But I don't know if it makes it easier being in theater, because in theater it's you see the whole picture. It's gonna sound really bizarre. When you're watching a theatrical play, you're watching everything, right? When you're on television, you're watching specifics. The camera will tell you what to see. So if I say, there is something under the table, the camera goes right to the table. Whereas if I'm on a stage show and I say, there's something under the table, you're gonna look at the table quickly. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a completely different experience, but it possibly helps us with the kind of what I call the larger than life things that we have to get across to the audience. So maybe in a long way around that, yes. I had to think about it myself. No one's ever asked that question before. That's good. Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I have so many women requested I ask this of you.
Oh dear.
Back when you were in Don McIntosh's tree?
Cameron
McIntosh.
Remember, my mother and father are here.
Yes.
Yes, no.
Just answer
They've read the book, by the way. They don't care. Yes.
When you were swinging, were you sitting on a swing that hangs off the tree? Were you sitting on a tree branch?
People don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to let you explain to them, since you brought it up, what you're talking about. All I'll say, Cameron McIntosh, the theatrical producer who produced Miss Saigon, Cats, Phantom, I know him very, very well. I'm not going to explain it. You get back on your feet. Cane or no cane, girl, you stand up. I treat everybody the same. So, an incident happened in his tree in the south of France, at his house. What was the incident?
You and Scott had sex swinging in a tree.
Yes.
And we just can't imagine how you would do
Oh,
that
I bet
in
you've
a tree.
imagined lots of times.
Honey, lots.
Don't give me that lie. I can tell by the big smile and rosy cheeks on your face. You've imagined a whole lot of times.
All right, thank you.
No. What do you say thank you for?
Hey, look.
No. Well, you want to know if we were in a swing?
Were you on like a
No.
tree hanging swing?
We were not on a swing.
So were you leaning against the tree or
We were
sitting
in
on
the
a branch?
goddamn tree.
On a big branch.
We climbed up the tree, and one of us was hanging, and the other one was swinging. Someone was standing still, someone was swinging. You get the picture? Welcome to Gay Sex Diaries. But you know what? I'm sure loads of other people have done it that way too, right? Good for you. See? My naughty women. You'll be thinking about that again tonight, won't you? The Vegas Strip will be rocking. Oh, I love how like 20 people are going, I know what he's talking about. Others are going, ooh, because they don't want anyone to know they got one. Yes.
Speaking of Gay Sex Diaries, I saw you.
How old are you?
19.
Okay,
No,
legal ages.
This is gonna go from.
No,
0 to 6.
18 is the age of consent, isn't it? In Nevada, you can have sex with anybody. What is it? 16. Oh, you're fine. Last time I did that, I was somewhere else, and the person, you know, because kids look older these days, right? I sound so old now. Kids look older, and this girl asked me this question, and I said, I gave the answer, and I went, whoa, how old are you? She went, 14. And her dad and mom went, it's okay, she knows everything. We're cool with it. I'm like, thank God. So yes, are you going to work or something? No, I'm just kidding.
This is gonna go from 0 to 60. So I was watching.
All right, just be careful of what you're gonna say, all right?
Okay, so
use innuendo.
I was going on a whole binge of one of my favorite directors, Mel Brooks, and I happened to notice someone in one of their movies, the producers, and I thought.
I am not singing it for you.
Not what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask how, like, was it hard taking something really serious and turning it into something very flamboyant and completely making fun of it?
No,
and still like.
no, because I firmly believe, and I've said this, and I just did a 23-city concert tour around the UK, and I tell jokes, I say things, I make fun of myself. I believe that we're becoming a society where we're not laughing at situations. You know, terrible things can happen. Once they've happened, there's a certain time, you know, it can be too soon, but eventually you have to laugh. You have to find the humor in everything. It's like when Scott and I went to get married. And we were at a registrar's office in Riverside County, and in Indio. And we went to the registrar's office, and there was, you know, loads of other couples that were there, but they were all aged between 75 and 85, right? And I said to Scott, we got to get to the front of the line. Well, it wasn't hard because half of them were, you know, see, find the humor, right? It was funny, and we did. We got to the front of the line, got married, and then we helped the rest of them to get married. So, but you know, it was a movie that was written about a terrible thing that happened, but we can now look at it, and it's still an awful thing that happened, but you have to find a humorous side to it, and Mel Brooks is brilliant in that way, that he finds that humorous way, because they weren't just taking the mickey, or as we say in the UK, taking the piss out of what happened, they were taking the piss out of one individual in that sequence and that stuff. And that person should have the piss totally taken out of them, if you know what I'm talking about. So that's, yeah, but we need to laugh at ourselves more. We need to poke a little fun at ourselves. I'm the first one to poke fun at myself. I'm the first one to poke myself, is that right? You what? Innuendo joke, good. Like that, yes.
Hi. Okay.
Hi.
I'm cross-dressing as Castiel, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll keep my hands off you.
Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Okay.
Just, how old are you? You're 18. Well, just hold the mic up. Just hold it up. These people don't want to hear you laugh for an hour.
Sorry. Okay. All right. So I just want to say that I'm bi, and I really want to thank you for your Captain Jack role and how you portrayed it like that, because it was really nice to see a superhero that was, you know, bi. Sorry.
Well, he was omnisexual. He was everything.
But you know.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Good. Well, I'm glad.
And to continue that note, which is kind of a different note. Anyway. Sorry.
I suddenly feel like Oprah today,
Are you?
but
Sorry.
a lot lighter.
Are you wearing your superhero underwear?
Don't ooh. She's a big girl.
Are you wearing your superhero underwear?
I'm not wearing superhero underwear, no. No, don't get me wrong, I love Oprah, I think she's great. But yeah, I'm not wearing superhero underwear. I'm wearing plain, old, tidy whities. Because I'm just flopping about. Okay, next one.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Are we going to work over to the back, Kevin? Here we go. Yes, where are you?
I'm here.
You're here. Oh,
I'm
hi.
here. Okay, so what I would like to know is, do you still have Scott Bakula's signature on your ass?
No.
No.
It washed off a long time ago.
Well, I didn't know if he used permanent ink.
Yeah, he did use permanent ink, but my skin is so smooth. It just rubbed right off. And I went home and Scott went, "Who's Scott Bakula?" Literally. I was getting in the shower and he went, "Who's Scott Bakula?" I said, "Oh, just someone who's a fan." You all don't know, I hosted, if you don't, in the UK, I hosted, was it 7? Was there 7 of them? Captains or 5? 7 or 5 captains from, 5 captains from Star Trek, and I love Star Trek. They asked me to host that event, and I did, and all the captains, it was really interesting, you know, from everyone, from Scott Bakula to, you know, Captain Janeway and Bill Shatner, and all the others, all the ones that, and it was interesting to hear them all talk, and also for me, as a fan, also to ask the questions that I knew that everybody else wanted to know. And I then, you know, admitted to Scott Bakula that I was a total fan of his from when he was in his Broadway days. And I asked him if he could have, if I could have an autograph, and he said, "Well, do you have anything to sign?" And I went, "No, but sign my butt cheek." And he went, "Okay," and he just signed it. And he was like, "I can't believe I'm doing this." And I'm like, "I can't believe you're doing it either." But just to the middle a little more and sign it. Yes.
Hi, I'm Christine.
Hi.
So we're so used
Sorry.
to seeing you as Captain Jack and the superhero and stuff, but lately you've been playing bad guys. You've been Merlin.
Lately, I've been playing a misunderstood hero.
Pretty bad in Desperate Housewives, though. I mean,
I was.
You blew up a house.
Yes, I was an eco-terrorist.
Yes. So
Yes.
how has the transition been from being so loved to being someone who's love-hated, who's someone misunderstood so much?
Well, you say that, but Captain Jack was love-hated, believe it or not, because the day that I murdered my grandson to save the planet, I was in the, you know, we did it, and funny, I met Bear, the kid, he's a man now, the kid who played my grandson. He came to one of my concerts, and he came up to me afterwards, and he said, "John, it's Bear," and I went, "Oh my God." I'm like, "You're this big now?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm studying, you know, acting and doing all sorts of stuff and having a great time. I'm like, "How old are you now?" And he's like, "I'm 18. But when I was doing that sequence with him, I told him, he said, "You know, what can I do, John, to make this a little better?" And I said, "Well, when you look at me, when we're doing the sequence, don't take your eyes off of your grandfather, right? Don't take your eyes off of me." And I said, "What I want you to do is I want you to start just lightly shaking. Then I want your whole body to start shaking, and just keep looking at me. Don't take your eyes off me, Bear." And I said, "I'm going to give you a little sponge with some blood in your mouth. And when you think it, when I give you a little wink, you just bite down in that sponge, and the blood will just then pour out of your mouth." And he said, "Okay." At that time he's probably like, what, 9, 10 years old, right? And so he's standing there, and we do the sequence, and he starts shaking. And he starts shaking a little more violently. And then I gave him the little wink, and he bit down. And not only did he bite down, but the blood came out of his mouth, and then some came out of his nose. He stuck a little sponge up there and did that, and it squeezed. I'm like, "You're a brilliant kid." And then he dropped to the ground, and people afterwards, well, I went to the supermarket the next, like, you know, after the episode had aired. And the day after I was in the supermarket, I was in the frozen food section. Yes, I like my frozen food. Scott's like his fish fingers, don't you, Scott? Yes, we were in the frozen food section, and this woman walked, literally, I was there, she did one of these. "I hate you for what you did." What, did I touch your fish? I don't know. "I hate you for what you did to your grandson. But I still love you." Oh my God, John Barrowman. So he wasn't liked for that kind of stuff. But Malcolm Merlin, I think, you know, Merlin, I think that I don't play him as a bad guy. I play him as somebody who, it's gonna sound...
He gets the job done.
Thank you. Somebody who will do anything to get the job done, kind of like Captain Jack. If you're in the way and you're involved in doing something that's going to cause humanity to suffer, In my eyes, you're done. You're out. That would be Captain Jack. Malcolm Merlin, you're standing in the way of my city. You're standing in the way of my daughter, or Oliver Queen, who I love like a son. You're standing in the way of anything that I have to do to save my world. You're done. And that's how I look at it. And I play it that way so that I try to do something different each time, because when Malcolm is talking to you, if you get a smile from Malcolm, you're in trouble. Big trouble. And I try to do that because when people, they're online, they're like, oh my God, he totally smiled at him! It's gonna hit it now! It's all gonna happen! And I love that. But I do get it with Malcolm. I get, man, I love you, but I hate you. I'm like, thank you! Job done. So I don't feel bad when someone says that they hate me. Next one. Back right. Hello.
Hi. Did you have any issues getting...
Oh, I got a lot of issues. Just ask my family. Go ahead.
Did you have any problems getting into the acting business being openly gay?
No, because I didn't really talk about it when I first started, because I grew up in a generation where you just didn't really talk about it. You just kind of did your thing, because if you did talk about it, it could have caused problems. But I will say that I was one of the first actors to openly talk about who I was and who I am and being a gay man, and I did that purposely because there was a situation where I was doing a TV show, and I came home to Scott, and we'd been seeing each other for how long at that time? About 10? No, it was less than 10 years. About 5. It was about 8 years, I think. And I came home, and then all our friends knew, people in the industry knew, in the UK, because I never hid it. But I was doing a show in America, and I was pulled into the producer's office, and they sat me down and they told me, we don't want you to talk about Scott, we don't want you to say that you're gay, we don't want you to do this and da-da-da, and they rattled through all of this stuff in so many words, in a polite way, and I kind of went, okay, and I got up and I left the office, and I went back to Scott, and I said, they want me to do this, 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 and this, and he said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I can't live a lie. I can't be something that I'm not and then pretend to be, I can pretend on camera to be these characters, but as a real person, I can't pretend to be somebody else. That's just bull. That's rubbish. I said, and also, if I was somebody watching television and I knew that that person was lying about who they were, how would that make me feel as a person who's in that same position, that I have to lie? So I didn't. I changed right there and then. From that moment on, my life just went voom, and I thought, if people don't want to hire me because of who I am at home, that's their problem. Because I will always find work. I will always do something else. I will push myself, and my dad used to always say to all of myself and my brother and sister, be the best at what you do, and no one can deny you anything, no matter who you are or what you are, right? And that's what you should do. And I haven't been back in that closet since. Hi, sweetheart.
What did you like better, Torchwood or Doctor Who?
Oh, I hate you for asking that question. But I love you and your gorgeous skirt and your boots. That's totally awesome. Which did I like best? I have to say that I probably like them both equally. Is that okay? Because Doctor Who, I don't know if you were here earlier, when I was a little boy and I became part of the Doctor Who cast, I never thought that would happen. But what was awesome about Torchwood was that was my own show. And because the character of Captain Jack became so popular on Doctor Who, they decided to give Captain Jack his own TV series. And many of you might not know this, but they were going to do Torchwood first. Russell T Davies went to the BBC and wanted to do Torchwood first, and he was going to call it Excalibur. And they said, no, do the revamp of Doctor Who, and then we will do Torchwood, and that's how it came. Well, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I know ice cream is more important. You're welcome. Yes. Who's where? Hi. No, it's turned off. Yep. 1 minute. Battery's dead. Well, there you go. Here comes another one. Don't rush yourself. He's like that. Testing. What? Oh, mine went out. You're very quiet. What? You're attentive. Oh, don't, you can be rude. I don't care. You're just mesmerized by my ass? Show everybody your mesmerized face. Go on, look at this. There you go, that's mesmerized. Yes.
All right, so when you were in Seattle this past March, I was at the evening with John Barrowman, and you made a comment about my TARDIS dress.
Yes.
I'm wearing a David Tennant dress at the moment. I was wondering if the same thing applies?
No, because I've been in the TARDIS, but not in David Tennant. And you thought I wouldn't remember. I'm like an elephant. I never forget. Aren't I like an elephant, Scott? We play zoo on a Friday night in our house.
Who's the better kisser, David Tennant or James Marsters?
Oh, that sucks. David's a good kisser. James is a good kisser. James was very, when we did that sequence, it was really funny because I told the camera crew to keep rolling, and the director to keep doing takes because I gotten to know James and, talking to him off stage, and I thought I'm Spike from Buffy, so I'm going to take every opportunity. And my sister's like, if you got to kiss him, just keep kissing him. I'm like, okay. So we did the sequence, and I told the director to keep doing it until I said not to do it anymore. So we did the sequence, we, across from each other, and we walked up, and we looked, and we went, cut! And we cut, and I'd walk away. James actually would walk over to his girlfriend, and he'd start going, to her, to reaffirm his masculinity. And then they would say, doing it again, and now this, we did it, again, I walked away and then he walked over to the girlfriend, By about the 5th time, we were saying, and action, I walk up and I go, cut! And I go, whoo! And James was like, What was hysterical is it was freaking him out. She was getting turned on by it all. Because she would say to me, she said, I so love it when you're kissing him. Just keep doing it. Well, poor James, like, oh my God. Finally, when we cut, and he's like, God, it took so long. And I'm like, yeah, sorry. I love my job. But he was a good kisser. He was a very good kisser. But, what am I going to say? One's better? No. I've had them all. Who would you like to kiss? What? Spike. There's a reason they call him Spike. Okay. Yes.
Hi. Other than Doctor Who, if you had to pick a show to be in that you admired as a child, what show would that be?
As a child? $6 Million Man. Or Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Commander Wilma Deering. The only woman who never had camel toe in a latex outfit. Lycra outfit, right? Kevin is Aaron's son. Yeah. So, and Aaron runs the company Heroes for Hire, who I work with all the conventions. So Aaron is into this also, who played Commander Wilma Deering. And I met Gil Gerard through Aaron, and I literally was like, Buck Rogers, I love you. I have all the figures, but that and $6 Million Man are my two favorites that come right to the top of my head. First time I met Lindsay Wagner, I was at Comic-Con in San Diego. I'd just done a panel. I was coming out, came in, got in my car started pulling away, and I saw Lindsay Wagner standing, waiting to go in. I said to the driver, stop! screeched. She looked over like, oh my God, and like a terrorist. I jumped out of the car and went. And then I belted towards her and you could see her going, oh shit. She thought I was like, I was a mad fan. And I ran up to her and I went, oh, I love you. 6 million, bionic woman, $6 million, hugged her. And then I went, oh my God, I'm John Barrowman. I'm so sorry. I just realized she's looking at me going, sweat beads coming out. And then I think it was your mom or someone coming up behind me going, it's okay, Lindsay. He's one of us. He's just excitable. Jump to a year later. We're having a big dinner with all the Heroes for Hire people who all work together. And everybody's in the dining room, the room, the private room that we had at the restaurant. And I walked in. Lindsay Wagner at the table, she did one of these. She went, I'm like, okay, I just bought the doll. Would you sign it this time, please? Yes, where are we?
Hello, lovely.
Hi.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Thank you.
And my question for you is, how does singing fulfill you creatively in a way that acting does it, and vice versa? How does acting fulfill you creatively in a way that singing does it?
They're kind of the same thing to me because they're both performing, and dialogue that you say without music is without music. Songs that you sing are dialogue with music. And you have to be able to sell. A lot of singers just get up and sing, but when you can hear a singer actually interpret the words and make sense of those words as you hear an actor make, so they're very, very, very similar, very much alike. And it's one thing that I've tried to do with what I do is to try to make them very similar and very much alike, because I've always disliked when people say, oh, you're a singer, you're an actor. No, you're kind of one and the same thing. Or you're a musical theater actor and you're an actor. What does that make me, less of one? Because I've done musicals? I'm actually better because I could sing, dance, and act all at the same time. All you can do is speak. Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen, who I know quite well. Ian was, we were doing the musical Anything Goes in London's West End. And Ian was doing a thing where he was going, kind of like a bucket list, but it wasn't his bucket list. He was doing something where he wanted to do everything that he's always wanted to do, and he wanted to be in a musical. So we dressed him in one of the outfits, and we put him into the number Blow Gabriel Blow. And after we were done, we got off stage, and it was, he'd had a little bit of rehearsal, and we showed him what to do, and he was singing and doing it. He knew the song. And he came off stage afterwards at the end of the act, and I'm like, how was it? How was it? He goes, oh, wonderful. So it was amazing to see someone who was so involved in doing such dramatic stuff and what they call, straight acting, although he's not straight. And everybody knows. But it was amazing to see the thrill that he got from all of that. So I see them being as very, very much the same. Emotionally, I get different things out of different, singing to me is more me doing it rather than a character doing it, whereas dialogue is the other person doing it. I still feel it, and I still put myself in that situation, but for me, the singing is, you're getting an insight to a bit of my heart and soul when you hear me singing songs, or when you see me on a tour on stage, like in what I just did in the UK. You're getting part of John Barrowman, not part of Malcolm Merlin or Captain Jack. That's the difference. Welcome. Yes.
Right.
Hey. What's going on? Nice shirt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name's Adrian.
Show everybody.
My name's Adrian, and I have one question.
Okay.
The other day, I learned you are a huge Barry Manilow fan.
Yes.
My question for you is, if you had the chance to either just put the song on an album.
I do a Barry song on every album.
I know. Just do a remake of the video he did for it. Would you do Read 'em and Weep?
I don't know Read 'em and Weep. He did
You don't know that?
No, the video. He did a video for it?
Yes. Google it. It's on YouTube.
YouTube it. I'm sure it is. I will look, because Barry I know quite well. I've actually sung with Barry. I sang with Barry in front of 40,000 people in Hyde Park. And Barry and I did a duet, and I was the first one. I took I Made It Through the Rain, which is one of Barry's big songs, and I took it into the charts, into the top 10 in the UK, which was an amazing thing for me. But I will look it up. I will. I don't know that song very well. How does it go? Can you sing it? No? Chicken. You're not that good. I don't care if you're not good. People just have a voice. Sing.
You can do it!
Why don't you look at me and read 'em and weep? Why don't I look at you and read 'em and weep? I don't even know if that's a tune. See? Okay, next.
One more.
Yes, Stormtrooper.
You were just, you got your MBE?
Yes.
Was curious about that. You got to go for the Queen. Can you tell us about that?
I got my for those of you who don't know, an MBE is a member of the British Empire. It's an honor that's given to you from the Queen and honored by the country, the United Kingdom. It's a medal. It's kind of, there's not really an equivalent in the U.S., but if the president were to give you what is the one they give you at the Kennedy Center? Dad. The what? Yeah, but there's nothing to do with military about it. Is it congressional to do with military?
Freedom Medal. Medal of Freedom.
Freedom Medal. Okay, but if it's maybe that, but this one you go and you get invited into, you're nominated. I was nominated by 10 Downing Street, by the government. And it was for my services to the entertainment industry and to charity. And I was asked to go to Buckingham Palace, and I took Scott and my mom and dad, and you go with all other people who are given these honors. You hear about, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, it's called the Queen's Honors. And, well, there I am. That was very funny, though. We got out of the car in the middle of the quadrangle in Buckingham Palace, and, I had to put my mom in one arm, my dad in the other, and Scott on one arm, and my brother, my dad, and I said, look, we're all going to walk into the palace together, because this is like I've been to Buckingham Palace before to do things for the Queen and for the royal family and other stuff, but this was a big moment for us as a family. And we're walking towards the palace steps, and my mom turns and she says, see, when I pushed you out 48 years ago, I never thought that one day I'd be walking up the steps of Buckingham Palace with my very own Queen. I let her have that one. I did take her Chanel handbag away for 2 hours as punishment. But you go up, and then you go you're in the throne room, and they get seated with all the other family members that are there, and they call your name, and you walk up. And it was Princess Anne who was presenting the award to me, because I do all my charity work with her, quite a lot of it. And when I went up there, and you bow, or I was wearing my kilt, and I thought I bow, but I'm not going to curtsy. That would be really crass. So I just bowed, and and then she said, "Fancy seeing you here." I'm like, yeah, whatever. Had a great conversation with it. It's a great honor. It's something that I'm exceptionally proud of, and not many people can say they have them, and so I'm chuffed. Particularly, since I'm someone who's gone away, and then come back to the UK. But brilliant. That's all I can say, really. I love it. Yes. Where are we? Hey. What's up?
I have one comment and 2 questions. The
Okay.
first comment is on Arrow.
Yeah.
You're one of the reasons why I keep watching the show, and forgive my language, but as Malcolm Merlin, you play a good son of a bitch.
Good. That's not bad language.
And
just words.
And first question, in regards to Arrow, do you ever think that Malcolm Merlin will be in an episode as part of the Suicide Squad?
Next question.
Alright, and my next question is, if you were ever to go to Marvel, which hero or villain do you hope to be cast as?
Well, I love both, and my DC friends, Jeff Johns and all the guys over at DC know that I am also a Marvel fan. But most of those superheroes have already been, the big ones have already been taken care of, and they're already. I'd have to really think about that. I'm really loving playing Malcolm Merlyn, and I can't talk about it. What's going to happen, or what we start filming in July, season 4. But all I can say, I just finalized my deal about a week ago, so. No, no big. I was going to fight. If they'd have said, we're paying you 10 cents, I would have said, okay. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't. No. But it was nothing like that. It was just about working out dates and stuff. So I'm very excited about going back. I can't tell you anything because I do know a bit of what's going to happen. But if you love Malcolm Merlyn, if you love Oliver Queen, if you love Thea Queen, if you love, the Canary Sisters. I say that with a bit of a twist and a joke in it. You're gonna love what's gonna happen across the DC world. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
In regards to Torchwood, how would you describe the other members of the team when you were acting with them?
You mean the people themselves?
Yeah.
Loopy. Because I'm the biggest nutcase on set. Eve Miles and I are like a naughty brother and sister when we get together. Bern Gorman, who I love dearly. We would just, at work, we would laugh. And we would try to take the Mickey out of each other while we'd be doing, half of the sequences I did with Eve on her close-up camera over my shoulder, my testicles were hanging out. Just to throw her off. And she would do the lines and she'd do the stuff. And then she'd go, he's got the kids out again, doesn't he? And I'm like, what, no, and none of the camera guys, they'd all be going, and she's like, they're out. I said, look, she's like, I'm not looking. Oh God, I looked. So we would do all sorts of stuff like that. And Gareth, who played Yanto, lovely, and he was, out of all of them, he was the best kisser, let me tell you. And Naoko was lovely, but Naoko couldn't walk in heels, and they always put her in these freaking high heel shoes, and we'd be like doing a sequence, and she'd go, oh, every shot, again, just take the goddamn shoes off, Naoko! She's like, sorry. My nickname for her, like, Eve was Evie, okay? Bern was Binny Bots, okay? And then I was Ginny Baza. Gareth was Hard Boy. And Naoko was Ping Pong Buckaroo. She's very talented with ping pong balls. And she loves it. And she's not really. But I used to call her also Coco Chanel. So we had nicknames. We loved all working together, and they were a great bunch of people. And when we see each other, we go quite a bit nuts. Even I have a tendency to go nuts. Yes. Huh? Yeah. Last question. Last question. But they didn't start till 4:15. Yeah, but that's cutting short an hour by 10 minutes. If you cut something short of 10, you're left with 1, and 1 ain't good. 10's better. Yes.
How about 1 10 times?
1 10 times. I love optimism.
I think I can. Anyway, with all your pals over at DC, there's a great comic book that they have out right now. It's called Batman 66. It's the further adventures of
Batman.
Adam West's Batman and Robin in comic form.
Awesome.
Is there any chance, and I want executive producer credit, that we're going to get you as Bruce Wayne in the tights? Can I make this happen?
I've got my own tights at home, but they're not Batman's tights.
Would you be Bruce Wayne?
Well, Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne. Well, yeah, I don't, yeah, I would love to. Of course I would. I don't know if that would ever happen, but it would be awesome. Totally awesome. You can work on it. But, my sister and I are doing, I'm not going to say what, but my sister and I are in discussions with DC about doing a comic. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, yes. It's going to be awesome. Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know if you remember me from Gallifrey 1, but I had mentioned to you a while back that I had like very lack of confidence because of my writing, and you told me to be more confident. Just want to let you know I have been working on that.
Good.
And the other question I actually had for you is, do you have any stories about what happened to Gallifrey 1? Because I know that Eve and everybody else has hilarious stories with Brotherhood.
I have to tell you, Gallifrey, when I came in, I did it, and then I went home. What? My tour? Honey, if you were on my tour, I woke up, I ate, did a show, and went to bed. That was my routine, because I did 23 dates over the course of a month. And I was exhausted, so no fun. That was my commitment in my tour was to make sure that I had a voice for every show for people who were paying a lot of money to hear me sing for 2 hours straight, right, and tell stories. So I didn't do any outrageous stuff. The outrageous stuff more so happens on set because I have downtime and all I have to do is talk. But yeah, I did Gallifrey 1. I didn't get up to much because I went to Gallifrey 1 and then I went back to Palm Springs, and they all, you know, hung around. I couldn't on that occasion stay up all night. However, in Germany, in Dusseldorf, Germany, Eve and I were doing this exactly same thing, sitting talking to each other, and I leaned over to her and I said, Evie, do you want to go out tonight? And she's like, Jenny Batha, I'd love to. So we went out, we partied, we had a great time. We went up to my room at about 1 o'clock and we popped open a bottle of champagne, and I had the champagne out, we're dancing, and we love the Mumford & Sons, and we put on Mumford & Sons, and I said to her, right, Eve, we're gonna open up the windows, and we opened up all the windows to the hotel, and we're dancing. We took all of our clothes outside. I said, we're dancing naked. And we started dancing naked, and she starts doing all this with the boobies, and I put my face in it, and don't know why, it just seemed the right thing to do. And then I did all this stuff, and I was doing the helicopter. So we're dancing and dancing, and we decided we needed to get some sleep at 6 o'clock because we were getting up at 7 to do signings, and we were a little late for that, but we went down to get breakfast, and we're walking into the breakfast room, and everybody burst out into applause in the breakfast room. And she looked at me, and she went, Jenny? And I went, I don't know, they're German, just smile. Sing Springtime for Hitler, no. Actually, they requested that in Germany. I'm like, are you kidding me? Me on a stage in Dusseldorf, Germany, singing Springtime for fucking Hitler? Are you crazy? So we're set, we come in, we're in the breakfast room, and this other American celebrity walks up and he says, hey, John, Eve, great show last night. What do you mean, great show? And he said, great show, but next time you dance naked in your room with all the windows open, you might want to check that there's not a mirrored building across the street. And by the way, Barrowman, nice helicopter. So those are the kind of things that happen when we have time. Oh, she did. She did, yep. So you know it's true, girl. Yes, I told that one on my tour. And Eve's picture and everything up, she's going, oh my God! Yes. Hi.
Okay, I don't even know how to talk after that, but...
That's okay.
Okay, so I admire your acting, you're a wonderful actor. I actually want to get into the acting business and screenplay writing, and I hope to run into you in the entertainment business.
Good. Hire me if you become popular. She's going, yes, she's like, never. Okay.
But I was just hoping if you could sing You're at the Top with me.
No, you didn't know. Start, ready, go. Oh, you got the words. Good, you lucky bitch. No, I know them. Because I'm a professional. Whose part are you going to sing, Billy's or Reno's? Billy, you want to be the boy? Fine, I'll be the girl. Reno. Okay.
Words poetic.
Take a deep breath and take it down a couple of pitches because that's way too high for me. Do you want me to start it?
Sorry, I'm like fangirling the way you were with Sarah.
That's okay. Like I said, just don't pee. I'm going to start it. Ready? You ready? At words poetic, I'm so pathetic that I always have found it best. Words there. Instead of getting them off my chest.
I let them rest, unexpressed. I hate parading
my serenade, and as I'll probably miss a bar. But if this ditty is not so pretty, at least it'll tell you how great you are.
You're the top, you're the Coliseum.
You're the top, you're the Louvre Museum. You're a melody from a symphony by Strauss. You're a Bendel bonnet, a Shakespeare sonnet, you're
Mickey Mouse.
Everybody! Scott, come here, please. Please. Yes.
Okay, so you have nicknames for your Torchwood co-stars.
Yes.
And Billy Piper has a nickname for David Tennant.
David
This
Tennant.
This is a two-parter. Can you confirm that? And what are your nicknames for your Doctor Who co-stars?
I can, well, so let's just say yes. We didn't really have nicknames because what you got to remember is that on the show, because Torchwood, I was the leader. It was my show. I was in control of everything. But when we went on, when I was on Doctor Who, it was David's show, so I let him do the kind of leading in that. And he had a lot to say and a lot to do. And Billy and I were the ones who usually had the jokes. But I can't tell you what my nickname was for Billy. No, I'm not going to say it, because that's private. It has something to do with a pipe. Anyway. Anyone have a question for Scott? No? Does he snore? Do I snore or does he snore? I do nuts.
Would you be at the bed? Press the button again.
That wasn't the question. We have a bed that vibrates. Yes, we do. We bought one of those sleep number beds. Have you ever seen those? Yeah. Oh my God, they're so comfortable, aren't they? Scott likes to sleep. I'm on. If this is the bed, this is my side, and that's Scott's side. And when Scott's sleeping, he puts. This is so funny. He lies like this. He'll lie like this, and then he'll put his arm down the split, so he lies like that. So I feel like I'm sleeping with a one-armed man. The arm disappears, but it's great because you can put the head up, and it's supposed to stop you snoring, but it doesn't you.
Your head up, and it stops you snoring.
Put my head up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you press the button again.
So he puts my head up in the middle of the night because I apparently snore. What? That's the dog, yes. Anybody else?
Over here.
Over there.
Hi, so I have all your CDs.
Thank you.
Yes. So I like when you're doing the Grease numbers.
Yeah.
I want to know if your choice to go away from what they usually do on Broadway and with John Travolta doing the high tenor instead of the low tenor.
The high tenor's not written.
Exactly, and I don't like it. And
No,
that's
John Travolta did it for the film to make it different, but the high tenor part in the original Broadway score was not there.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if it was more of like a
I did the
choice to go
traditional
away from
score.
that. Yeah, okay.
Which is just as good as the. I love the movie.
He did, you know,
Sorry?
It's better than what he did. It was kind of.
No, I wouldn't say it's better. I just say it's different. But I get what you're saying. I'm trying to be diplomatic here. Did I? No, we haven't even started the house.
We started and we stopped it.
Yeah, the front doors. We put new doors in, and they're not in. They're not in right. Put it this way: it's a big thing fitting in a smaller space. I think is that gentleman there? Yes.
Hi, how you doing? It's nice to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
First of all, I wanted to say that Buck Rogers was one of my favorite shows as a kid. And Kevin, I had a huge crush on your mom.
He has, listen, don't worry, Kevin has already heard how many men have, over his mother over the years. Listen, it's a great drink buyer because he'll be in bars and they'll be like, dude, your mom was so hot. So many times I got busted in my bedroom with my sock and everything. And your mother and my mom walked in on me and he's like, let me buy you a drink. Kevin's like, yep, you gotta buy me a drink now for that. Thank you.
I will buy you a drink. I don't feel as bad now.
Kevin, is that not true? Yep, see?
You guys a hot mom, I don't know what to say. Anyway, for you, sorry. So the character of Malcolm Merlyn is more or less a reimagining of the DC character Merlin. You kind of touched on it earlier, but how did you approach the reimagining of that character to Malcolm Merlyn from Merlin in the DC comics?
Well, I have a DC Bible that's next to my bed, as I do have a Marvel book. They're huge books, aren't they? And Scott bought them for me, and I did the research about Malcolm Merlyn. I also looked up in different comics about Malcolm Merlyn. About Merlin, and you know, the League and all that kind of stuff. I took the history of it a little bit, but I also did a lot of my own creation, and also talking to Andrew Kreisberg and Greg Berlanti and Mark Guggenheim, getting their input of what they wanted to see. We basically amalgamated and kind of created a new Malcolm Merlyn, or a Merlin character, and that's, for me, that's the beauty of it. Taking some of the history with it and bringing it into the new creation that you're doing, because I think it's worked, and it apparently has, because how many countries around the world now are huge Arrow fans and watching it, and it's worked surprisingly well. So long may it happen. Amalgamation. Princess with the sparkly dress, I love you. I wanna have that dress now. I want a big one so I can wear it in the kitchen while he wears his marine underpants. Anyway, go ahead.
What's your favorite color?
What's my favorite color? My favorite color is red and yellow and pink and green, orange and purple and blue. That's my favorite color. I love blue, and you're wearing my favorite color, and that's why I want your princess dress. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're the Coliseum, you're the top, you're the Louvre Museum. A symphony by Strauss, you're the...
That's my husband. Thank you, everybody.